Hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Kevin's Barbecue Joints, and this one is awesome. It's with Chef Grecia Ramos. I might be pronouncing her name a little off. From 2M Smokehouse. She's the pastry chef there, and she is putting out exceptional pastries and desserts. Usually in this intro, I go into a long kind of description of what we're going to be talking about, but I don't want to do that for this one because as we went on, there were all these things I didn't know about her. And you probably don't know a lot about her and about the desserts that they have at 2M if you've never visited. So I'm just going to say that this one is wonderful. Gracia is just awesome. She's just such a great person. It's so fun to talk to her. I was smiling almost the entire time I was editing this because she's just full of life and creativity and energy and passion for what she is doing. And if you're just listening to this on the podcast side, please take a look at the intro of the YouTube portion because you'll see the desserts and they're just ridiculous. Like, you'll be amazed that this is coming out of a barbecue joint. And then she also has some big plans, and I'll put a link below to her TikTok and her Instagram because she's teasing these plans. It's in Castroville, Texas. It's about 15-20 minutes outside of San Antonio. It's going to be a bake shop, but so much more. And she's not telling a whole lot. She gives little tidbits about it, but it's something really exciting. It's going to open up summer of next year of 2023. So follow along on her adventures, and I'll probably have a part two, maybe 6 months to 9 months from now. So that way we can kind of update everyone on what's going on with that. But if you're in the San Antonio area, I highly recommend 2M, but I highly recommend getting the desserts. It's exceptional what she's putting out. It's seasonal. It's just, I, it's just, listen to this interview. You're going to enjoy it. I can't thank her enough for taking the time to share everything that's going on and the path and how she and Esau met and the early days of 2M. But this is just spectacular. So if you're enjoying these, please subscribe. That way you don't miss out. I'm putting out about 2 of these per week. I have a website at kevinsbbqjoints.com. But at the end, stay safe and visit your local barbecue joint and visit 2M Smokehouse. Good afternoon, good evening for you. How are you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm so happy to finally get this together, and I'm so excited to talk to you because I had mentioned off air, ever since I saw those pop-tarts, I knew I wanted to talk to you, and I had been kind of waiting and waiting to talk to you, and then I saw that you had an article, and then you also had like some news coming up. So this is kind of perfect timing, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome, and also you're very busy. So when you say like the catering stuff, is that like the 2M stuff, or is that for
No,
your
that's part of baked.
for
Right now
baked?
I'm doing I'm doing some catering on the side for baked. This was the first official one. I've done another one before. It was for a wedding, but it was for a friend. So that one was more of a gift for me to them.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, this is like my first official, I guess you can say, catering.
Oh, cool. How did it go?
It went well. It went
Yeah.
very well. I really liked what I made and what they picked. A little nerve-wracking, but not too bad.
Yeah, that's your first one, so it's good. It'll be interesting like a year from now to look back and just see,
Yes.
yeah, for anything you do, but for this, well, so is it called Baked San Antonio or just Baked?
It's called Baked by Chef Grecia Ramos.
Okay. Okay, so that's the full name of, okay. And so I'll put a
Yes.
link to it. I think your Instagram has a few pictures so far on it. For
Yes. I picked the baked essay just because I wanted it to be baked. Like, you're gonna think of the shop and you're not gonna think of baked by Grecia Ramos. You're definitely just gonna look at baked, just like with 2M. It's 2M Smokehouse, but everybody just,
calls it.
2M.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Oh, that's smart. That's cool. So we'll get to. I want to get fast forward to like eventually get to that part, but I want to kind of talk about your path. You were born in Mexico, right?
Yes, I was born in Reynosa, Tamaulipas in 87.
And where is that? That's
We are right across the border from McAllen, Texas.
from McAllen. Okay. All right.
Yes.
And when you came over here, was your path at all food related? Like, what did you think as growing up?
Um,
Were you baking with your family?
so no, so my mom was she liked her things done her way. So I was really never in the kitchen with her.
Oh,
I would see from afar, but I was never really allowed in the kitchen until I got maybe into my teens. Was when I started slowly getting into baking. So I would get to do the cupcakes, the cakes, the tres leches, like little things here and there.
mhm.
Started helping my mom out from there. No, we've never really been in the restaurant industry.
Hmm.
My father has a countertop business.
Oh,
He's had
cool.
a countertop business for 25 years now, or 30 something years now, actually.
Wow.
So yeah, we were never really in the hospitality business itself.
But I guess like it's sort of hospitality because I guess, but it's more like personal hospitality.
Yes, definitely.
Did you think you were to go into the family business?
I did there for a minute. I was thinking of taking over and maybe doing more of the administrative work. But at the same time, it was really hard. I was trying to go to school. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do at the same time, trying to run a business. I was really young. I was maybe 18, 19. So it wasn't definitely not in the cards at the time for me.
Yeah, yeah. And that's like it's a big deal. And I always wonder like what happens when they cut the countertops wrong because I take care of my mom. I've watched a lot of HDTV and I've seen like the guys bringing the countertops in, and I always think, but I guess you could always kind of fix it maybe on site, I guess.
Yeah, well, his are custom, so he always like prepares for things to go wrong in case like they
Yes, you
measured
would.
wrong, and he
Yeah.
puts them in. So he's always preparing for those little things.
Yeah. And here's a stupid question that has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. Why do people get is it granite? Which is the one that's porous that can stain? Is that granite or is that
Um,
marble?
it's the granite. There, wait, is it the granite?
I'm trying to think. It's like so stupid.
It's like the almost like the cement looking one, right?
Yeah, but one of
I
them
know which one you're
stains.
talking about. I
And
don't know what it's called, but I do know what you're talking about. And yeah, that one is very porous.
yeah,
I
I
do
just don't
not know why
understand. I
people
guess
get
you have
that.
to maybe you have to seal it. It's just a weird thing. I just always wondered, and it has nothing to do with anything. I wondered why, if there's another version that looks similar and it's actually cheaper, why not get that? Like it's because
Exactly.
you're gonna spill wine,
Exactly.
you're gonna spill beer, you're gonna make a cake on it with a colored frosting. Like it's something.
Definitely not.
Oh, so stupid. Anyways, so then your path was. What did you think you? Then what were you really passionate about when you were younger?
Um,
You're young right now, but when you were
Well,
even.
growing up, like as a kid, I wanted to be a dentist. I told my parents that
Oh,
I wanted to be a dentist and I wanted to fix everybody's teeth for free. And I was going to give them gold teeth at the time, which I didn't expect gold to be at an all-time high in 2022. And that's definitely not going to happen. So I had big dreams when I was a child.
are you still
um,
are you still interested in dentistry at all?
yeah, I don't know why dentistry was, I guess, something for me back in the day,
Yeah,
but no, I definitely did not go down that path. As I got into my teens, I was looking into more cosmetology or into baking,
yeah.
but it was leaning more towards cosmetology. It wasn't until I met a soul and he was already into the hospitality, like really into the hospitality industry and
Yeah.
the back of house, I guess you can say. That's when I really started putting it into gear.
When you guys met,
He was still working at La Barbecue at the time.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I was working as a secretary at a shed place, and I was also bartending at night. So yeah, just
Did you guys
in
meet
between.
at La Barbecue or did you meet at just randomly?
No, we met through mutual friends and through Facebook, just started messaging and then went out one day and I was like, oh, I like what I see. So
Well, he is a
we
really
moved from
cool
there.
guy. He's a very cool guy, and I don't think I think a lot of people probably don't know a lot about him, even though he's done some interviews and I even had him on the show. It's just he's just kind of he's a SO. He just kind of does his thing, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's cool. So at that time, were you guys ever talking about like someday when if we ever open a place that you'd be doing the pastries or the baked goods and
No, actually, no, not at all. He had talked to me about opening up a restaurant was one of his dreams.
Mhm.
I thought that was super cool. I had really never been in the barbecue world. Like I didn't even know that there was this barbecue world, to be honest with you.
yeah, yeah.
Like my
Most people don't, I don't
like
think.
yeah, like you told me, hey, we're gonna have barbecue. It's like, oh, we're gonna go to Familiars, we're gonna go to Rudy's,
Yeah.
the Rusty Bucket, on the west side, something like that. But no, I did not know that there was this, whole barbecue world underground and crews and, competitions and top 50. I did not know any of that. No.
Did,
So,
did he
so
did he
when
try to explain that at all to you, or was that even something that you just was working and didn't? Like when
well,
did you figure that out?
I went to Austin. He was like, hey, you should come by. He's like, try the food. I
Mhm.
was like, sure. So I went and I was mind blown. The food was amazing. Like nothing that I had ever had. I loved going to what is it, Bucky's, and getting a chopped sandwich, and that was like the highlight for me for the weekend. So when I had the barbecue, I was like, wow, like this is great. This is different. And that's when he started telling me more about what he wanted to do and what he was doing, and what barbecue entailed. And I was very amazed. Like there is a lot that goes into barbecue.
Yeah. Was your family, because we kind of jumped over that, was your family in San Antonio, or were both your families in
Yes.
San Antonio?
Yeah. So when we got here, I was 5, and we stayed in San Antonio. So we've been in San Antonio
Okay.
since then. And yeah, just basically I like to say I'm just born and raised here, because I know
Yeah.
nothing else other than San Antonio.
But then whose idea was it to come to San Antonio to open a place? Was it?
His family's from San Antonio as well. So since his family's here, my family's here, we always figured eventually we're gonna make it back. And he wanted to open up, and we figured what better place than San Antonio.
Were you working there the whole time?
Yeah, so I've been with 2M since day one.
Okay.
I never really thought that I never really thought of making the pastries or being, the pastry chef there, nothing like that. I more or less thought I was just gonna come in, help out, try to get them, started, try to get a crew together, and then kind of go about my way. And no, here we are 5 years later, and I'm still kicking.
Wait, so you guys met like a couple years before?
Yeah, we met about a year, almost 2 years before he opened up to him.
Okay, all right. And then so what was, because you've got like a different perspective of the opening and stuff. How was that time? Was that a stressful time?
It was. When we moved to San Antonio, it was in the fall of 2015. And this is when he started staging. So he would go to different places. And then I stayed here in San Antonio. I ended up working for a year, and I just told him, like, go, do whatever it is you got to do to open. I kind of thought we were maybe going to do like a food truck to start with. And when he came with the location and he had already put a down payment, I was like, ooh, we're going. So I was like, all right, let's see what we're going to do. And that year, I mean, it was very stressful for him. And I mean, for both of us, I was working at a dealership. He was home kind of doing all the recipes, doing R&D, getting, everything situated for 2M. But it was good. It was a good stressful time.
Mhm.
I feel like now going into opening something, you kind of know, how to navigate certain things. This one was just like stressful, but adventurous and good and exciting.
Yeah,
so it was just, it didn't
right?
feel as stressful as it does now.
You were talking about with your new place?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we'll get to that. But that's interesting, yeah, because you already know kind of what you have to deal with ahead of time. So like you can kind of anticipate what the stress is that's coming. And also too, I guess you didn't know really what the reaction of the city would be, what people would, if people would make the drive. And then was there a certain point when you guys both knew that this is going to work?
I don't know. I've had a lot of faith in 2M since the beginning. So I've always felt like it was just going to work. Like it was just, it was meant to be in San Antonio with his best friend on the east side of town. Like everything just aligned, that when we opened up, we got very, very good feedback. When we made, I think is when we made the top 38 in the nation, new restaurants in the nation.
Oh yeah.
Leader came out with that was when we were like, okay, like we need to kick it up a notch. Like we're doing good. This is working out. We're here to stay. And yeah, I mean, it just gets its beginning.
But it's also how crazy too is that he's been nominated twice for like a James Beard.
Yes.
That's pretty nuts. It makes sense. It makes complete sense that he would be, but it's just amazing. That's awesome.
It is. He's doing a lot. I mean, from the cooking to the sides to our crew, like everything just goes so well. Like everything just meshes so well. I mean, can't complain.
Well, and I'm really good friends with Sheldon Mason, and I know he was there. Yeah, he's such a great guy, and
he is.
His time down there, he loved it. He like it was definitely a big moment in his life to be there. It was definitely a pivotal point in his life, and so
for sure, I loved having Shelly there.
Yeah, Shelly. I don't call him Shelly. Yeah. But I could try that. I'll text him later to tell him that. But it's no. I've just always heard just great things of like how you guys operate and the vibe and that. When did you start to do the pastries? When was that something that, or the desserts? I guess you would call.
I kind of started when I was at the dealership. I had this one girl there. She wanted a birthday cake, and I was like, "Sure, I'll make you one." And then she was like, "Do you think you can make a tres leches?" And I was like, "I think I can. I'll figure it out." She's like, "Okay." I ended up making one. I made an extra for us, so loved it. And he was like, "Hey, what about when we open, you make a cake or two on the weekends, and we'll just sell them there, and maybe we'll just have some pastries." And he started showing me some of the barbecue restaurants and what kind of pastries they had. I was like,
Yeah.
I think I can do that. Like,
Yeah.
I think I can, get a few pastries in there. And sure enough, from day one, I started doing the tres leches. Little by little, increased to cookies, to tarts, to pop-tarts. And now, I mean, we're full on basically pastry shop at 2M as well.
At what point did you think I should go back to school then?
Was there was a point where we started getting calls for Food Network, for different shows, and some of their requirements was for you to have a culinary background, and I had zero. So those were some chances that slipped away, but I mean they did it for the better. That's when I ended up saying, you know what, I'm gonna go to school, whether it be at St. Philip's or at the San Antonio Institute. And then I found out about the CIA, and CIA was
Was CIA, is that in Austin or is it?
it's here in San Antonio.
Oh, there's one. Okay, San Antonio. Okay, how was that experience?
It was great. I loved it. The chefs there were amazing. We had some amazing chefs. We would get demos from some chefs from New York, from
Oh wow.
Singapore, from the California campus. So it was really nice. You got to really be around different cultures, different people, different cuisines, just different kinds of chefs, different techniques. Like it was just a plethora of knowledge there.
Was it just for desserts, or were you there for the whole, like, everything? Was it
So I got my degree in baking and
in
pastry,
baking and pastry?
but
Okay.
I did have a few classes that they do fundamentals with us for
I guess that
culinary.
makes.
Yeah, and those were a lot of fun. I learned how to actually cook a proper chicken and a proper egg. So I'm very proud of myself on egg cookery, by the way.
Well, maybe that's your third restaurant. Will be a breakfast. But that's no, that's cool. Like, I'm sure it pushed you a lot. And whenever I've seen, and it's funny too because there's so many darn shows out, like on baking and on chocolate
Yes,
making. And have you seen this is like another stupid thing? Have you seen that chocolate thing? The guy that from Vegas, the
yes,
chocolate.
I've been following him on Instagram. He does
Wild.
amazing work.
Is that even it's almost like, and it's funny too because on the show, and because I'm a digger my mom, I've watched a lot of stuff, so and I want to try to make it interesting and different, and it's that guy is so, it's wild how his brain works, and you
Yes,
think he'd be a kind of a jerk, but he's not. He's very like supportive, but he's also tough. Like it was,
yes,
maybe
yes.
that's important as a teacher to.
I
But
feel
do you,
like that is something that I look in mentors. I don't want oh, you're doing great, sweetie. You're
Mhm.
doing great, sweetie. Like I want to know when I'm messing up. I want to know when things don't taste good.
Yeah.
Because then I can dissect it and I can know why it didn't taste good. Where did I go wrong? How can I improve it? There's no such thing as perfection, but you can get pretty darn close,
Yeah.
you know? And I do not mind trying to get pretty darn close.
Yeah.
So for me, having someone that's going to push me and let me know and be tough, but loving at the same time is amazing. So yes,
Yeah.
I look up to that guy when it comes to the way he is.
Yeah,
For
not
sure.
many, like, and like there's not every occasion that you would be making a giant chocolate sculpture of a dragon or something, but it is
No,
pretty
and you know what? It's so hard when it comes to chocolate. Like it is I don't think people really comprehend, like from the tempering to the handling of it to the climate. Like there's so much that goes into the chocolate, not just having the eye and the way of being able to do the sculptures. Like there's so much that goes into it. It's mind blowing that
did
he's able to
you
do what he does.
did you have chocolate courses?
We did. We
Yeah.
did have chocolate courses. We got to do some truffles. We got to do in the same confectioner's class. We got to do what is it called? The sugar sculptures. So if
Okay.
you've ever seen like those beautiful, they almost look like ice and they're colorful
Yeah,
and
like
then like
almost crystally.
yeah, we got to do a bunch of those. So those were a lot of fun, but there's a reason why they're expensive
Yeah, time
for
consuming.
sure.
Yeah, and it's an art. It's a whole path. Like that would be a completely different path that you'd be going down if you were like hyper into, if you were super interested in
Yeah,
that. That wouldn't make it. So then were you incorporating ideas from school into 2M as you were like as you would progress?
I did. So anytime that I would have something from school that same week, I would kind of bring it into 2M and be like, what? I made it in school. It came out pretty good. Let's try it without school. And if I mess up, I at least get to go to class the next week and talk to chef and see where I messed up rather than trying to figure it out after I leave and not really having that one-on-one.
Oh, cool. What were people's reaction? Because slowly but surely your desserts were changing, right?
It was mixed. It was a little bit of everything. Some people absolutely did not like some stuff, and I completely understand why. I look back at some of my stuff, and I look back at some of the recipes that I try to do again. I'm like, this was not
Was it just
no.
too funky or it was just didn't turn out right?
Like my cookies, for example. My cookies took me about 2 years to get kind of where I kind of want them, and even at that, I'm still working on them because
Wow, that's
I like a
fascinating.
very crunchy cookie with a chewy middle and a gooey center.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get all three of those in one cookie. And I'm getting there. I'm slowly getting there, but I don't want to overdo it. But like that, for example, is one of the things that I've noticed from when I first started school to now, how it's progressed, how the some of the stuff that people liked, I was like, no, it's not. It was not good. And some of the things that people didn't like, now I'm like, actually, that was not bad. I
I
think
could
we
see.
just need to open up our palettes to that one.
Yeah. Well, and it also too, it's interesting because if people coming in, there's a lot of places just have one or two desserts, even if they have a dessert. Some places don't even have dessert, and a lot of times it would be banana pudding. There's places that
Yeah.
have like Evie Mae's that has like a whole assortment of things, but it's interesting how like I've seen photos of things how they progress. Right now, like, is there a standard? Are there standard items that you always have to have that you know you always want to have?
Yes. So tarts and cheesecakes are for sure on the menu.
Okay.
Those people come for. I have this gentleman comes every week, gets one of each if he can on Thursdays, and he does I think on Saturdays. So those are the things that I try to have, especially for our regulars. Cheesecakes and tarts. Tres leches are making them their way back into the display case as
Okay.
a permanent permanent dessert for now.
Can you order just desserts? Is there a dessert line, or do you have to go through the regular line too?
No, so if you're just getting desserts, you can always just go up to the counter and
Okay.
just order your dessert.
Okay. So this guy, is he bringing these desserts home? Like, is that his thing?
Yeah, so him and his wife get every time that I have a new flavor or that I experiment with something, him and his wife try to come and get them and try them out and give me their feedback,
Do they
which I
give you? Oh, that's
absolutely
great.
love.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Oh, that's really neat. And that must be fun for people to know
it
that
is.
you're kind of experimenting and they get a chance to try a lot of new things, especially at a barbecue place, because people wouldn't think that.
Yeah, it really is. I have a few regulars who they're brutally honest with me, and I love it. I really, really love it just because there has been times where, you don't have a good day or you don't have a good week or you're experimenting with something and you don't know whether to tell someone, hey, I might have changed the flavor because once you say something, they're like, oh no, automatically. No, it was already perfect. You cannot have, why would you? So I tried just to change little things here and there. And when someone gives me a feedback of like, hey, you did something, right? It tasted better. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
I
cool.
did this. Or if they tell me like, I had something's lacking, or it just had a little too much of something. It was better before. I know just to scale it down and keep it where it was.
Oh, okay. So when you say tarts, are you saying those pop-tart, or are you talking about like a tart,
Like a fruit tart.
a
Yeah.
fruit tart? Okay.
So it actually has a cookie shell with some either the gelée or the custard.
Yeah.
And then we do some whipped cream and then some fruits on top.
So you have that every day, but it could be different fruits, or it could be like seasonal
Yeah.
things, or
So those are just seasonal, whatever we have in the fridge, whatever came in the truck. Sometimes I'll go to some of the local markets and whatever they have there. So those you kind of just have to keep an eye out for whatever I have on Instagram.
and every day that you're open, you'll have tarts, and then you'd have a cheesecake. And do you have the same cheesecake, or like a couple cheesecakes, or
The cheesecake is by menu. So right now I have a coconut guava, which is the gluten free.
Okay.
I have a pomegranate hibiscus,
Wow.
a passion fruit mango, and my last one is a, ooh, what do I have? Oh, peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler. Oh,
Yes,
right now.
peach cobbler cheesecake.
Wow. So is that something that peach cobbler cheese? I don't think I've ever had. That's a great combination. That's really interesting.
That's so that was so good. It's creamy. It's you get that. It's almost like having a peach cobbler with a scoop of ice cream, but what is it called? A cream cheese ice cream.
Oh, oh
So
wow.
good.
That sounds so good. So and what's the because I'd read in Daniel's article, the ube, is that like a sweet potato? Not sweet potato, it's like a root
Yeah,
or
so it's a
something?
Filipino sweet potato.
Oh, Filipino
The
sweet
Filipino
potato.
yam.
And is that something common that you guys find there? I don't think I've ever seen that.
No. So what was I doing? I was at work. I was at school one day, and I remember we were going through some of our Asian cuisines, and we had looked up ube, and then I ended up at a place here in San Antonio called Sorry at their market, and I just happened to see the ube on there, and I was like, you know what? Let me try it out. Let's just see how it is. And I love the pigment that it gave. It was a
Oh, it's a
really rich,
purplish, right?
beautiful purple. And I was like, man, I was like, let's try it out. And it's really sweet. It's very it coats your mouth very well.
Huh.
So yeah, it just I don't even know how to describe the taste. It's very unique for sure.
You have to come out and try it. But how
Yeah,
often,
it's very unique.
how often will you have that? Or have you had that in a while?
So that one is part of the winter menu. That one will be
Okay.
back out in August. But if they do want to try that one out, they can always order it by the 6-inch or by the 9-inch hole.
Oh, really? I mean, you could order. Wait, so is this something? Do you guys have this on the website? I feel bad that I don't know this. Is it? Do you have a website with all your desserts or something?
So we do have some, but because some of the stuff is sometimes seasonal, or we do have them or we don't have them, we don't really put much on there. We keep
Okay.
it more on Instagram.
So if someone came in and said, I want a 9-inch ube cheesecake, they can
Oh
get it.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Like
as
right.
long as they let me know at least a day or two in advance. I try to keep some inventory in there, but I just recently had an incident with the truck where it went down
Okay.
and I lost all of my inventory. So
Oh,
I'm
oh, I'm
keeping
sorry.
very little inventory now.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. Okay. So
There was 50 cheesecakes I very sadly threw out.
50?
Yeah.
You should have filmed like a sad video with like
I,
sad
I
music.
didn't want memories. I was
No, you don't want
so
to keep that.
irritated that morning. I was like, I don't ever want to see this ever again.
Well, then you're not going to want to watch this ever again.
It was traumatizing.
Because this is yeah, we're solidifying this memory. This is, but you'll look back and go, okay, well,
Every year, it's just gonna remind me.
oh gosh. Well, okay. Well, and then with the Pop-Tarts, how did they come about? And then I think when Daniel visited, you guys didn't have them, right?
Yeah, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Of
I
course.
actually don't think that I had much other than cheesecakes and I think some tarts.
Okay.
When he showed up. Well, the Pop Tarts are because of Esol. So Esol loves these Pop Tarts from a bakery here in San Antonio, and I was like, man, they're good, right? They're good. Now I want to recreate them because they're his favorite, and I want him to have my favorite.
Oh, that's
I
so nice. You want yours to be
so
you want yours to be his favorite, right?
yeah, I want mine to be that good too. So I did. I started practicing different doughs. I did pastry dough. I did pie dough. I did, what else did I do? I tried I think I tried like 3 or 4 doughs before I got to the one that I have with the Pop-Tart now.
Okay.
And so far I'm pretty happy. It's still not his absolute favorite, but it will be. It will be.
So which ones when you guys have them in stock, which ones do you guys usually have? Or is it
Um,
always whatever you want?
it's kind of a little bit of everything, but the strawberry, the raspberry, and the blueberry are the ones that I constantly try to have. Every once in a while, I'll do like a Nutella and peanut butter, or Nutella strawberry, or peanut butter chocolate. But I try to stay with the berries more.
Do those sell out pretty quick?
They do. They do. The kids love them. The kids love them, and every parent is not going to complain after standing in line for an hour trying to
That's
get
true,
their
yeah.
barbecue. They're just like, here, take the Pop-Tart, take the Pop-Tart.
So then like if say you were making Pop-Tarts, would you have them because you guys are open what, 3 days a week or 4 days a week?
4 days a week.
4 days. Would you have them for all 4 days, or by Sunday are most desserts already sold out? Or?
By Sunday, most desserts are gone.
Okay.
I try to keep an inventory for probably the first 3 months. It was no, actually, for the first 8 months, I was by myself. But the first 3 months, I was trying to keep the display like as packed as I could, and I completely burned myself out. So I kind of scaled down a little bit. Now I just got an afternoon a baker right now that has been helping me out a lot. And thanks to him, right now we're able to bring in slowly the tres leches. I want to bring in the pop-tarts and make them an everyday thing, but it's becoming one of like every other week, or if I have enough dough left from other certain things, I'll make the pop-tarts.
So people should just come every week, keep coming back constantly, and then they'll
definitely check the Instagram. I try to keep up with Instagram as much as possible.
Okay, and is it your Instagram or the 2M Instagram for
the 2M Instagram?
Okay,
yeah.
So let's talk about what's happening with you with baked. How, like, has this been a dream for a little while?
Yes. Well, when we did 2M and everything, I always figured I would open up maybe next door, or I would eventually have like maybe a little shop, but never to the extent that I'm opening now. This completely surpassed any dream I ever had, for sure.
And it's going to be in Castroville, right? Castroville?
Yes, it's going to be in Castroville.
And that's is it Castroville or Castroville?
Castroville.
If I'm saying it correctly. I read it. I apologize, like in my brain, but that's in San Antonio, right? That's like a suburb or something, or it's a city.
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes away from San Antonio. I guess you can say about 15-20 minutes.
Okay, and so you showed a video with, or like a loop with the plans. So you have the plans. How far off is it? Because 2023, right? You're not
yes. So we're thinking about a year from now. So probably right by next summer, we should be hopefully opening up.
And what are the ideas? Are you releasing any information about it? Like, what is it? So is it going to be? It'll be a bake shop, right?
Yes, it'll be a bake shop. We will have. I'm trying to do a journey with baked. So I'm trying to get everyone into the TikTok, kind of see what I'm doing. So I don't want to give too much away, but I will. I'll give you some stuff. It's definitely going to be a bake shop. It's going to be hopefully a place where you're going to want to come on the weekends, have a few drinks.
Okay.
Maybe hear some music. I don't know. Maybe the new little getaway for the weekend from San Antonio. Close little getaway.
Okay. So it's a little bit more than a bake shop.
A little bit.
That's cool. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say anything more. You're obviously very excited about it. It's
yes, I'm very excited about it. It is.
And is this going to be something? Are you guys going to have anything barbecue related there at all?
Oh God, no. I love barbecue, but I cannot do barbecue. I love barbecue, but I just can't.
It's not going to like weasel its way in like with a little bit of like tallow or something, or no?
Well, no. Okay. I'm not going to go that far. Yes, I will be using some tallow. I'll definitely be using maybe some bacon here and there, or maybe some special meats, but nothing like actual barbecue. No, I'm gonna try like
no biscuit with brisket or something. That's for other people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is your dream. And so can you give me a link to like the TikTok to make sure I want to have, it's probably baked.
Yeah.
SA for everything, right? Is that what?
Yeah, baked SATX. Okay. I have them SATX,
yeah.
Thankfully.
Okay, cool. So then if people can, so this is kind of like a chance for when this comes out, people can start to make sure that they follow along on Instagram and TikTok for sure, and they can kind of see the journey and see what's happening, and that's cool. So is this something that will you still then be making? You'll still have all the pastries, all the desserts at 2M, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So we're still going to be doing desserts at 2M. We'll still be doing desserts at Baked. We'll still have that little cooperation with each other. I believe 2M is going to stay with their bake shop in San Antonio. So we're going to have a little bake shop here to keep going.
Wait, so do we have a bake shop? You have a bake shop right now? Is that how it works?
It is and it's not. It's like, I got the pantry and it's a little closet that we just kind of made into a bake shop.
You're calling it a bake shop. Okay.
But hey, it's working. We're pumping out a lot of stuff out of there. So
it's so impressive. I guess you'll have trained people so that you'll have a team that'll be doing that. Okay, that.
I'm hoping so. I'm trying right now to just hire people just so that I can leave them I can leave them and just know that everything is going to be, up to Azul standards. That's a lot of the standards for my desserts come, of course, for myself, but from Azul.
Yeah.
He has a very good reputation, obviously, and I don't want that to get affected once, things get transitioned into someone else. I want everything to stay the same, from quality, from the brisket to the sides to the desserts to your customer service, all the way down, for it not to even skip a beat if someone leaves.
And you live with him, so you'll hear it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You'll probably know instantly. It's not like something like you guys live at different places, and that's
oh no,
that's perfect. No, that's and but also too, you think, will there be crossover then with some of the items at baked too? Like, do you think like pop-tarts could show up at baked? And
no, so I'm gonna keep 2M.
So all the things. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I truly believe that the beauty of 2M is that you can't find it anywhere else. So, and what I mean by that is, like, I know you can find corn, you can find all these things, but just the concoction, the way he puts things together, I feel like you just can't find those specific notes, those specific sides that he does, dishes that he does. So I want to keep the desserts just the same. I want to make sure that everything we have is just unique for 2M.
Okay, so you'll have to go to 2M to get those things that are specific, and then so the baked is going to be something different.
It's going to be something a little different. You'll still see cheesecakes. You'll still see a few cookies here and there, but I do want to transition and have something a little different. I feel like San Antonio and the surrounding areas have a lot of like the Mexican panaderias, where you're gonna have your pan dulce, you're gonna have your cafecito, you're gonna have your cuernitos, like all of these other kind of pastries. But I want something a little different, something you can't just go, 3 blocks down the street and get it.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to go maybe a little French, I don't know, a little Asian, maybe a little bit of everything. I don't feel like I need to be put in a box.
That's good.
Yeah.
That stuff, everything will go in a box, but you're not going to be put in a box. That's good. No, that's awesome. That's going to be great for your creativity. It's going to be great for your soul. That's going to be amazing. That'll be wonderful. And it's also interesting too, because I've seen a lot of specials and things like on travel different things on San Antonio, and there's a lot of Mexican pastries and there's a lot of places that make things that are specific to San Antonio too, or that you can only get it in San Antonio because it's the best guy is there or the best woman's there. Yeah. So that'll be good to stand out and do something. That's exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. So how are you feeling about all this?
I'm excited. I'm very excited, very nervous. I just, I want to make sure I'm going to be able to cash those checks I'm writing right now, because it's a little nerve-wracking.
Okay. Well, maybe if you want, as things get closer, we could do a part 2. And
for sure.
That way, because you don't want to spoil stuff now. So that way, at least you've kind of, and like teased it a little bit. And people, I just wanted people to know more about what you do at 2M, and then I knew about this new thing coming. But so maybe as we get closer, we do a part 2 that you could kind of explain more about what you're doing, and because it'll be also things change too, like, as you have to kind of pivot.
I'll let y'all know everything I've learned, whether it was good or bad or whatever. I'll let y'all know where I'm at.
Yeah, we'll make everyone watching this will make a list of what you said, and then we'll come. No, I'm excited. It's just, there's like, it's the beginning of something really nice. So I really appreciate you taking the time, and I appreciate what you're doing. And I wish I was live closer. Like pretty soon I'll be able to travel.
Yeah, come on by
and visit. But this is like, San Antonio has something really special with 2M, and you guys have really given them a lot. Like, it's just nice, and I'm glad that you were able to survive the pandemic, because that was it was definitely the beginning. I remember talking to you guys and talking to SL at the beginning. It was stressful, very stressful for everyone.
It was for everyone. I mean, just trying to keep everyone employed, making sure everyone was getting their bills paid, keeping everyone happy. I mean, it was definitely tough.
Did you guys ratchet back with making like desserts, or did you guys have all the desserts at the
we actually didn't do any desserts really during probably a good chunk of 2020, but during that time we were doing burgers, we were doing hot pockets, empanadas. We were doing a little bit of everything else. I was still practicing on doughs. I was still practicing on certain things, but we just didn't hit it as hard with desserts just because it's more of a luxury than
Yeah, yeah.
anything else. And
That's true.
at the
People were.
time, yeah, people were just trying to buy essentials, get what they needed. And, everyone's going to spend money on food, but not necessarily on desserts.
Yeah, but it is kind of nice, like when you like a dessert. It doesn't, you have to gorge yourself. It's just something special. It's something that's kind of like, once you start to realize like what's important again with after the pandemic, you start to kind of realize like, it's like some people are like so scared of like eating desserts because they don't like getting away with whatever. But it's like, so like it kind of like it finalizes a meal. It kind of it balances things. It's
Oh yes.
yeah.
I love my little quequito or just something at the end. Obviously, there would be if I was a skinny chef, I don't think
Yeah.
anybody would be like, "Are you sure?" Like, you
That's cool.
sure? But
Ah,
yeah, I love my little quequito at the end of my dinner. It's always good.
what's your favorite dessert at 2M?
Ooh, um, dang. I'd have to say probably the coconut guava cheesecake is
Yeah.
one of my favorites, or the passion fruit. I have these little cream puffs that I'll bring out every once in a while, just because if I bring them out, everybody at 2M will eat them before I even put them out in the display. But there are these little cream cup puffs that I make with passion fruit frosting inside. Oh, they're so good. So if you ever see those on the display, definitely snag one of those.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. That's good to hear. And also too, I want people to know that there's a pastry chef working at 2M. Like
Yeah.
yeah, which is really cool, which is amazing. And the desserts they're getting, they're special. And so that's nice. It's congratulations on all this, all the success that you guys have had, and also, on your dreams that are coming. You've like made me so curious. I'm gonna be now.
Thank you.
I'll be definitely checking out your Instagram and and I gotta go back. I gotta put the TikTok app back on my phone now because of this.
You're like,
So,
wait, now I gotta check what she's doing.
yeah, yeah. Thanks so much, and say hi to Saul. And this was great. Thank you. It was so nice to meet you in person.
You too, Kevin. Thank you so much.
All right, have a good evening. All right, take care.
Bye.